Do you think it was a coincidence that the first people that Jesus revealed himself to after he had resurrected was women? Now, I do not. And I don't necessarily think this is a man or woman theme. I guess you can make that argument because women were considered lower, more of a humble status. I believe it has to do more with them being intentional. They were as faithful to Jesus as anyone. The Marys were. Much more so in his final hours than his own disciples were, that's for sure. So I don't think it's a coincidence that he revealed himself to the Marys as they were rushing back to tell the others about their experience with the angel at the tomb. And then they encountered Jesus and they worshiped him right there on the spot. Again, I'd like to think I'd have the same reaction, like I said yesterday, that the women had. But my reminder today is that if you want to have an encounter with Jesus, you have to be intentional. You cannot just expect it to pop up and happen and him appear to you on your way into work or on the way to the grocery store or a kid's athletic game. If you're intentional with your life, whatever it is that you are pursuing, you are more than likely going to reap whatever it is that you are sowing, whatever it is that you are going after when you have intentionality, compared to just going through the motions, right? That seems obvious, but if you were to be honest and take a step back and look at your life, you can probably find areas, I know I can, where I can be more intentional to get better results. I like how James Allen puts it in his book, As a Man Thinketh. Very short book, great read, I highly encourage it. It's all about the thought process. He likens the mind to a garden. This applies to life in general, I believe, because it has to do with intentionality. So your mind is like a garden. You think about what it takes to cultivate a garden, right? You don't plant a seed and you have a garden all of a sudden. No, you have to pay attention to it every single step of every phase of production, if you will. You plant the seed, you water the seed, you start to prune back branches and stuff like that. It takes time, it takes effort. It takes being intentional. The moment you neglect it is the moment you start noticing rodents coming in and eating your vegetables or fruits. You start noticing weeds. So you have to keep on it in order for it to be, fruit bearing or vegetable bearing garden. Your mind is the same way. You have to protect your mind. You have to protect your life. Whatever you're allowing in, you are likely going to produce, it's going to come out, whether it's in your language, your actions, the stuff that you listen to, watch, the people you surround yourself with. You have to protect it. So be intentional about all of those things. If you want to have an encounter with Jesus, you have to be more intentional. I'm not saying that he just will not show up through other people and other events, but you have to be looking for it. You cannot just expect Jesus to physically show up like he did to these women as they were being faithful. Yes, they put themselves on that path to have that encounter. So I guess that's the reminder. That's the short message of the long. If you want to have an encounter with him, you have to remain faithful. You have to be intentional in your pursuit. The more of that you do, the more likely you're going to see him as you go about your day.